Good evening and welcome to the final day of the Roads to Vegas here live from London. We're going to have two matches for you tonight. One is the European final, then later on will be the North American final. I am also joined by DDK per usual. How are you today this evening?
I'm fantastic, looking to see who's actually going to make it.
All right, and we're also joined by, to my left, Mr. Janko, the analyst Jesus, and to my right, Vendetta, who will be tricasting with us today. Janko, how are you doing today?
I'm very excited to see who's gonna make the trip to Vegas.
Good. And Vendetta, how are you, sir?
I'm awesome. Expecting good games.
Okay, so for those of you who are joining us on this journey right now and haven't seen the previous days, we can have a look at the format quickly and see exactly how things are working here and how these teams got to the place they have got to now. So it's been 8 teams in Europe and 8 teams in America. We've had a single elimination brackets in a best of 3 formats, and we have lost 6 of the 8 teams in both continents, now left with 2. Perhaps we can have a quick gander at the bracket for Europe and see exactly who eliminated who. So you can see G2 Esports went 2-1 versus Arcade, but then lost in perhaps a shock 2-0 against Dignitas, who will face off against Lounge, who made their way beasting Vexed, their national rivals, and taking down Mouse before that. So lots of surprises in this European bracket. Now, as I understand it, Dignitas have some troubles because one of their team members has lost internet, so they have a sub, and one of their team members is unavailable for whatever reason, so they have another sub. So Dignitas playing with 2 subs here. I believe it's Kjærbye and Sanden standing in for tenzki and Kjærbye.
Yes.
So that's going to be quite a challenge for MSL to try and coordinate. We've seen a number of teams where they've basically had 4 permanent players, especially in North America, and they've had stand-ins and so on, but this is next level with 2 people missing from the usual roster. What are your expectations of this match?
Well, now it's even more difficult. They knew that Kjærbye is going to be unavailable. I think he had some holiday booked way back, but the tenzki sub is last minute. I don't know, we have the map video here. I'm not sure if it influenced their map video process as well, although we can see that they picked Train, which is one of their most successful maps. But the thing here is, even though both Kjærbye and Sanden are obviously skilled players and very good players, it's never the same when you lose your standard player, simply because you lose a lot of teamwork that you had. And we talked about it throughout this qualifier, how Dignitas was really good. They were really coordinated. They were especially good in those anti-eco rounds when the opposing team force bot. They won almost all of those rounds, and it's going to be harder for them for sure. And we'll see how big of a toll the 2 players missing is going to be.
So Cash, Train, Overpass are going to be our 3 maps for this best of 3. Overpass will be the decider, one of the more difficult maps perhaps, especially on the CT side. So we'll see if it gets there what Dignitas can offer the opposition. But CSGO Lounge, they've beaten their national rivals, which was quite a surprise for most of the desk, who were expecting Vex. You know, we've seen good things from Vex, but they got pretty much annihilated by CSGO Lounge. So Vendetta, what are your expectations from CSGO Lounge in this match?
Well, given how the situation looks for Dignitas right now, I would say that CSGO Lounge have a really good shot at actually making it to Vegas, which is something I didn't think would be a possibility starting out the entire tournament. So this is a golden opportunity for them to get a quick trip over the Atlantic, over to Las Vegas, and fight for those $50,000. I think the map pool is beneficial for both teams, really. Both teams got their best picks. CSGO Lounge getting Cash and Dignitas obviously getting Train. Overpass, I think, is a map that CSGO Lounge should be pretty happy about as well. It's not Cobblestone, which is probably the worst thing they could have run into out of the remaining maps. So they should be pretty happy about the situation.
Any thoughts from you, Dan, before we get into this pistol round?
Personally, I feel like it would actually be somewhat of a disaster if CSGO Lounge actually end up losing this now. With 2 subs on the opposing side. Before, of course, Dignitas, for me, it would be a shoo-in, but with 2 stand-ins, it just throws too many variables into the mix and destabilizes the team. They'll have to rely on individual skill, and that's something that CSGO Lounge also have in spades.
Into the pistol we go. Dignitas winning the knife, chose the CT side. It looks like Lounge are going to put the entire team into mid with a smoke in Z connector. Here's Michu's actually going to be in there for the split, the 2-pronged assault towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, we have a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression coming in from Lounge, and they've made their way over to the bomb site almost now. It's like actually RUBINO will stop the approach, so putting in a lot of work. And Lounge looking to try to recover now, but it's going to be pretty difficult. Mouse quite low, and Innocent still very far away from the bomb. Well, actually, his position's going to be good now, as the bomb will be planted. So this is actually turning out quite well for Lounge in the end. They have recovered, but can they close? That's the question.
It is a default plant, which means that Mouse's position is very key because his teammate won't be able to stop a defuse from that checkers area. Innocent taking down KGB, giving the 1-2 versus 1. RUBINO can't get the frag on the site player, and Lounge will take the pistol.
Yeah, Lounge bringing that round back simply because they're able to get the frag onto Sandin, who more or less got trapped in checkers without any of the remaining Dignitas members, RUBINO and Cajun, being anywhere near to actually make that trade with Innocent. So a bit rushed of a retake from Dignitas after they managed to kind of stabilize with RUBINO picking up those 2 frags as they entered the site. So that was a good opportunity lost for Dignitas, and I think they would have needed to get off to a good start on this map.
Well, Dignitas taking a passive approach towards the mid area. Those ranges will not favour them on the eco here, with just a bit mere pistols versus the rifles, the 3 rifles of the Lounge Gaming side. So oskarish throwing a nade up to the top of short now. Lounge will be looking to identify exactly where the stack is. They do see one Deagle player towards A, but where is the rest of the team? You can see a bit of an aggressive peek, some ducking and diving from one of the Dignitas players towards the B side as well. And SZPERO may push further once he takes down that player config. So we'll see movement into B now as MSL falls in mid.
Yeah, the MAC-10s proving to be successful, at least on SZPERO's perspective, as you will see the movement towards B now. So it's been a slow, methodical take of map control, and it's all worked out very well for CSGL Lounge. It's quite an encouraging sight to see them handle the pistols so well. Bit of a stray bullet finding MICHU in the face from Cajun Beast Eagle. Can he get something extra? Looking for this 1 bullet, but he won't be successful. And that's 4 frags with that MAC-10 for SZPERO, so really making some mad dollar bills.
Pretty solid anti-eco coming up from Lounge there. As to be expected as well, they showed that versus Vex as well, that they knew how to play these anti-ecos in a proper manner. And I think that's something the 2 teams have in common, really. They don't mess up anti-ecos all that often. Obviously, Dignitas being with 2 subs could actually make for some trouble, but SZPERO just continuing to rack up that cash.
$1,800 for the AWPA, making all kinds of coin at the moment. Last player's been identified, and maybe be left for SZPERO to dispatch of. So indeed, Dignitas will be taken care of very quickly. Really curious to see just how much money SZPERO has going into this. Quite a chunk. Obviously, he's going for the AWP straight away. No AWP will be coming out for the Dignitas side, just opting for the grenades. So we'll see how they choose to hold. Quite a fair few grenades in the Dignitas side. They didn't go for the full force in the second round, and that will make the difference. We saw what the problems it can cause previously. MSL getting taken down for free. If you get a good spawn on the B side, you can pick people who are crossing to the white box, but that was quite a deep one. If you look at the way Luminosity play the CT side, they often boost their player to cross on the roof of the structure next to the vents to avoid that from happening.
Yeah, so bad start for Dignitas, and they've used a lot of utility already. Only 1 smoke left on Cajun B, and CSGL Lounge can very happily make a movement towards the bomb site now. And the flick actually connects there. It was a tag through the box, so it won't finish off Sandin, I believe it was, that got tagged. But that extra damage, considering that Dignitas already down a player, is not a good sign for them. They do have 1 guy who's close on middle, so maybe he will be able to hear the bomb being dropped there by Innocent. That's actually a lot of information for Dignitas, so they're probably aware that a player is coming in towards A, but honestly it's going to be hard to stop no matter what.
Right now Cajun all alone. Used his last smokes as well, so he's got, well, basically the Colton 2 flashes to actually hold off 3 or 4 players from Lounge Gaming coming in now.
Well, let's see if this flash from Sandin can get any work done. Nobody in a position to get the right peak, but KGB is going to take down oskarish. He will soon be dispatched by mouz. MICHU taking down Sandin. 2 versus 2 now. The bomb needs to get planted. Only 15 seconds on the clock here for the T's. And RUBINO will use that time to reposition here in the plant. Config just waiting for the planter to exit. That's meant to make it a bit harder. Trying to get a guest frag there. Not happening for him though. He's traded mouz, so it's a 1 versus 1 now. Innocent at the back of the site in the quad area. And Config has some time on the clock. He's got the defuse kit. Waiting for that smoke to dissipate, making sure he's not being flanked. Innocent will continue to dance around at the quad box. Coming out at the right time, and Config will get shot inside of the head. 3-0 to Lounge. 4-0 to Lounge, excuse me.
Yeah. Dignitas at least making it pretty expensive for Lounge, which is more or less a necessity given how easy the anti-ecos from Lounge Gaming were. And right now, Dignitas is in a bit of a hole. They definitely could have gotten something out of that round, but with it's like you mentioned, Dan, with Sandin getting tagged up with that op so early, he's not really that much of a help to Cajun on that A bomb site when Lounge decide to go.
Now we will see once again Lounge is executing some of these anti-eco type plays, just getting some people on the boost, which is very safe because if your players on the boost somehow do die, the weapons will not be recoverable at the very least. And you get some good vantage points, and you can see it's working out marvellously so far for Lounge Gaming, who have yet to lose a player. Mouse is on 14 HP, that's as close as Dignitas has so far come to a frag. But there you go, once again, Kjærbye rattling off the shots with the Deagle is going to find one, but will that be it? Looks like it's very likely. Here comes the P90, and that will clean up the rest of the round. 5-0, Lounge looking rather strong at the moment, but in comes the next big buy from Dignitas.
Yeah, and it's starting to get into the territory where Dignitas need to pick up rounds more than anything before the entire first half is gone from them. And, well, still no op on their side, but luckily for them, SZPERO rocket ended P90 instead of an op, so they don't have to be too afraid of that immediate pressure coming out from SZPERO.
Yeah, it seems Dignitas, at least with their current roster, don't fancy the AWP on this map in general. We'll have to see if they fight on the T side, but RUBINO had 6,600 at the beginning of that round, so he did delay his buy. I think there was some discussion as to whether or not they should pick up the AWP, but they chose against it. Ultimately, we'll see if it pays off for them. Lounge moving towards the A site, potentially looking for a fastest play with that P90. RUBINO coming in for the flank, they get a two-man. Looking for the spray down, MICHU to trade though. MICHU's now in a strong position, he's going to drop a flash in the smoke. Innocent will find the player below him. And CSGO Lounge have taken the A site with a man advantage, both CTs coming from the car and Z connector position.
Tall order. Config is going to go for it nonetheless though. Mouz is going to go down, leaving two left for the Lounge side. The Polish players are playing patiently, awaiting these CTs, these Danes, and here they come. Sand in with two. The sub in with the save. And that's going to be around for Dignitas, but they did lose 3 players, so not really gaining a lot of money from this one. I think it's going to take some efforts to stabilize, especially considering the Lounge have quite a lot of money to keep throwing in the buys.
The good thing from Dignitas that round is the fact that they managed to get the read on what Lounge were doing, which is the same execute they had on the previous buy round, and you could tell that by RUBINO actually being on upper, even when the execute happens from Lounge Gaming instead of sitting stuck in mid. And the backstab coming in from Lounge Gaming, which is meant to just really pick up some easy kills while Dignitas was trying to retake, was just way too late. So Config managing to pick that easy frag up, and instead the entire round turns.
Lounge Gaming going to go back from the P90 to the AWP once again. MSL has been taken down in the checkers area, it seems. So Lounge have a minute 10 to take mid and perhaps go for a B split. They have got 2 people deep in towards B, but Config has taken down SZPERO. Now there goes your mouse is going to be lost as well, so that might change the plans for Lounge Gaming. Do seem focused towards B, but now that focus has been
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one now for Lounge. So if Dignitas can survive with only 1 loss, that would be absolutely perfect. So if Lounge can get a couple of kills, they would really hurt Dignitas. Dignitas, if they would lose a round in that position, would likely be on an eco, a very terrible buy. So very important that these 2 players can realistically take down 2 more before going down. And here is the effort in towards A main. As we see Sandin by forklift, he's going to be able to get some flashes in there. But will Cajun get anything? No, Sandin does get the flashes in, but only 1 frag. So this is actually looking winnable now for oskarish. He's got 15 seconds to plant the bomb. He's got the ability to do it. He goes for it straight away, and there are some extra grenades to keep himself safe just for an extra moment or 2, as he is going to be challenged, and he can't get his gun out in time. And that's going to be the round. But 2 frags and a bomb down.
Yeah, so Lounge getting the most of what they could really out of that round. After Config pretty much severs any hope Lounge had of going towards that B bomb site. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Lounge going back to trying to get mid control once they get another buy going. And this is going to be their potentially final buy before they might have to eco.
We'll see. The money is quite ropey on both teams at the moment. Dignitas could maybe scrimp something together should they not prove victorious in this round, but we'll have to wait and see who indeed will be facing adversity. Lounge looking for a fast play into mid. He's going to take some nade damage, and MSL is going to get the first kill. Traded by MICHU. SZPERO Going for a nade towards the vent area. He's going to go down after taking massive damage. Man advantage for Dignitas. Lounge haven't really advanced anywhere significant just yet. Dignitas have a lot of players towards mid. Looking for more trades indeed. Sandin will take down MICHU, leaving the CTs in a 3 versus 2 with the bombing control as well.
Yeah, this is a really big must that Lounge get a concerted effort right now before the CTs can really get a setup going on that bomb. Just get the collection effort, and then Sandin with the engagement, and he uses the white box to great effect, finding that frag onto Wienecke. Now really plummeting the chances of Lounge to win this round or even get a favorable situation. But again, it's one of those spots. Lounge just has to get some more damage, and surviving with 3 players is going to be very helpful for Dignitas. They're going to start to be building money finally, especially considering that Lounge are on their last legs when it comes to their buys.
Yeah, and right now Dignitas are doing a great job of understanding what Lounge wants to do. So after pretty much a failed attempt at trying to get some pressure on towards that B bomb site, they recognize that Lounge has had a lot of success finding openings in mid, so they stack up with 3 players and pretty much immediately shut down anything Lounge could potentially do in that round. It's a great job from them so far.
So you can see the smoke in A main. And obviously Lounge with just the 1 rifle, maybe looking for a fast play. That Molotof's going to be huge because they've only got 3 plays with Kevlar at the moment. Close will detect 9B and take down Case. 1 shot to the head and dead. Sandin will fall as well. The bomb site's in control of the T's now with a man advantage, and they've picked up a 2nd rifle.
Yeah, this would be a very big loss for Dignitas to lose this round. They can't afford that situation to play out. Lounge looking to try and stop these Dignitas players from retaking this bomb site, and they've got good positions. Innocent with a very nice shot there with the smoke. Now the pressure is really on as it's down to Config and RUBINO. They are trying to get their way into this one though, but it's taking a lot of time. That bomb is starting to tick further and further. Mouse just running around the red container there with that Tech 9. He's aware that there's someone trying to defuse. Innocent has to go for the engagement, and Mouse is going to be opened up in that engagement from Innocent to take down the plant, the diffuser, and the covering player. So good little play there in that 2 versus 2, and that is going to completely rock Dignitas.
Yeah, so the first time Lounge actually has to go on a bit of an eco, they immediately punish Dignitas and send them back to a similar fight where we're going to see Dignitas buying up with 2 ZZs up on Cajun and 2 rifles, but pretty much no nades to work with at all, and that could really be an issue for Dignitas.
Yeah, considering they are 2 rifles down and they essentially need to play the pick game due to the lack of nades here. We've got a few flashbangs. They'll need to make them count. We've got RUBINO playing under the boost. There's nobody close to A main just yet, so there isn't really any flashbang play possible for Dignitas except potentially towards B, depending on how things go there. Kjærbye with a good start though, taking down a peeking SZPERO towards mid. I'm not sure if his gun will be retrievable by RUBINO, who is close. You can see angles being held toward mid just in case the CTs try to get some extra value.
Okay, so time is really running out for Lounge to make a move, and having lost a player already, it's time to go together, and that's what they're doing. They're moving for an effort towards A. Now,
I think RUBINO might have heard actually they're running towards that A bomb site, so I would expect Cajun to rotate up towards door any minute now. Here we go.
okay, and that's just in time. Nades are going to be sailing over the top though, and Kjærbye might be a little bit out of vision thanks to those smokes. But no, he's going to go all the way around to a close position. Only gets 1 though, for that very risky position, and Sandin is the one to hold it down, just Innocent, who is left alive, but he is going to be taken out by the flank of RUBINO, and 6-4 will be the score. Dignitas holding on there with 3 players.
They lost the AWP though, and MSL wasn't able to pick up a rifle before the end of the round either, which is a shame.
But they will be able to drop around, so everybody's going to have a rifle for this round, and quite a few more nades on the Danish side. That's going to be good, and there we go. Just the sound cue that RUBINO is able to pick up from being that close in mid, it really just saves the round and allows Cajun to make the rotation in towards B, and then he gets a massive kill. Kind of slow down the momentum of Lounge.
That nade might be money. Oh, the damage is ridiculous. The spray down as well. The garden hose coming out. Config with 2 coming in with support from MSL. Got to get Dick straight away. He's got 3 HP. Still found himself 2 frags. Could go down. Won't go down. Perfect round for Dignitas.
That was a money nade right there. Not really much else to be said about it. Pretty much CSGL Lineup being taken down to less than half HP on their entire team before they've even seen someone.
Getting drilled like it's home improvements.
Yeah, it's, one thing though is I am wondering, just as a brief digression, how the T side for Dignitas will go, considering they have the two standards. It's going to be harder on the T side, I'd say.
Yeah.
But anyway, ooh, that's a very ruthless shot there from SZPERO, peeking out, and Config could barely open his eyes. So we've got now a 5 versus 4 already for Dignitas. They are in a really horrible spot now, because they should probably try to push for some information on either the A main or the B storage area.
Yeah, KJB has done exactly that. He has an angle.
Yeah, and even MSL has set himself pretty aggressively on that B bomb site. So for now, these positions will do for Dignitas.
Wall of smoke coming out in the mid area, which could suggest a B split coming up from Lounge. Though Innocent needs to be careful jumping up. Sander not watching the angle there. Innocent will take him down for free. His teammates running distraction. Nice spray down onto the short area, and it seems the decision may end up being A with all those frags in the mid.
Yeah, I do agree with Halvor as well. It's like the positions were actually quite cool. There's a multiple ways to play that spot that they found themselves in, and we actually have the hunt now. Before the bombs have even been planted, they're already going for the hunt. But yeah, it was very smart for Lounge to go for the middle play, because typically, actually, you would expect middle to be weaker when the CTs lose a player, because they don't have as many to trade in mid, so it can get quite risky, as we saw there. But Dignitas just not able to connect their shots. Lounge looking pretty good. And Dignitas back on poorer money, but they can still get the buy-in.
And again, we're in a situation where both teams really don't have that much money to work with, so we could see a force buy if Lounge Gaming actually lose this upcoming round, but still, it's going to be an opportunity for Dignitas to get back on top and actually win the first half, which I think is needed for them.
Well, Lounge moving quickly towards A main, and MSL's moving quickly through B with 2 players in for support. I'm not sure how much of that CSGL Lounge can identify, but they're losing numbers to do anything about it. Reaction will be tough now with 2 players in A main. The bomb still passive in T warehouse.
There's a quick pop on to RUBINO, getting a little bit antsy, trying to see what was going on. And now that's CSGO Lounge into the A-bomb site. The bomb needs to be collected from middle, so it will be ferried over. But that delay the bomb reaching the site, in fact, it's not even going to matter at this point. SZPERO is the last man standing. So Dignitas with a good recovery there on the defense of the A site after losing RUBINO. And it is SZPERO looking for the shots. He's been pretty hot in recent matches, but this is a lot to ask. And Dignitas will win the round. But the question is, you know, with what's left, you know, the 2 rounds that are left in the half, even if they get the 8, is that going to be enough, considering how hard it should surely be for them with a standard on the T side?
A lot of it could come down to the fact, or could come down to the pistol round. Simple as that. If they can get off to a good start and break a Lounge Gaming on their first buy, then all of a sudden you have a pretty significant lead. And even as a bit of a mix with 2 stand-ins, you can still manage to scrape in 3 rounds if you're Dignitas at that point. So I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's definitely difficult without your original lineup.
Alright, so smoking over the Reds to the other side, so they can't be shot from short. And there's a short smoke as well, so all kinds of shenanigans coming in here from the T side. Can they get the bomb down though? There is a CT still on the site itself, and the bomb has been lost. Crossfire coming into the CTs. Again, only lost 1 player so far. mouz and Innocent remain. Only mouz has some Kevlar. And they are on the wrong end of that checkpoint, so mouz with 1 more frag, but he's got 14 HP left, and he's going to get finished off by MSL. No plant for Lounge moving into the last round of the first half. Do they have enough rounds on their T half so far?
I think Lounge are okay with this. They should be able to work with this, because they do have the advantage, just regardless of how far into it you are, by being a full lineup. So you kind of know what you're going into. It's always going to be a question what we can expect to see from Dignitas on their T side.
Yeah, they might have to change their approach.
Oh, MSL. This is very aggressive, and he's going to find an opening frag. He did that 2 rounds ago as well, and he's coming up with some massive frags for Dignitas that's really disruptive for Lounge Gaming.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get his team some more edges, considering the circumstances.
Oh,
he's done well so far.
They have A main as well under control, and that actually looks like where Lounge want to go. So this could end up falling very flat for Lounge if Sandin keeps himself dug in, but in fact he's going to back away, and it might actually be a bit awkward, but he will find the kill anyway, and he'll be safer falling into the A-bomb site. So looks like the situation is going to be changing, especially if it's getting all these frags again. Now Config is the aggressor through middle, so absolute madness, and it's Dignitas who are the kings of chaos, it would seem, with Config on the last frag.
Actually very well orchestrated half for or CT half from Dignitas, given how they are playing with 2 stand-ins. MSL and RUBINO for me were kind of the stand-up performance of that first half, and you can tell it's reflected by their kills as well. They did a lot, and they got a lot of important kills, MSL especially. The one round where MSL initially gets the first frag on B and then rotates over towards A, he managed to save stand-in simply by getting the guy rotating around the red box, who definitely would have sandwiched stand-in in that situation and given CSGL Lounge a pretty easy bomb plant and a decent shot at after plant. So it's going to be interesting to see, though. Dignitas kind of have to win this pistol round, I think, if they want to stay in it.
And it looks like Dignitas are going for the classic over the top in middle play, straight through, potentially for a run up either to the vents or towards short. And they are going to go the vents routes, and that's MSL with the opener. Dignitas looking pretty strong and almost clairvoyant in their expectation of the position of these CT players on these defenses. Now we have 3 players left for Lounge, weakened, one without even any Kevlar to work with, and the bomb is planted. This is hopeless, it would seem, for Lounge. Now, MICHU looking for the shots as he makes his way in, and that is fantastic. 2 quick kills, finding those headshots. Now maybe there's a chance, but they are so incredibly weak. Innocent has all of the work to do by himself. It's too much of a burden. It will break his back. And 9-7 is going to be the score, as Dignitas do actually win the pistol round. That will change quite a lot.
Yeah, great stuff for Dignitas, but they almost gift the round back into Lounge's hands. Kind of half-hearted peeking from 3 players, allowing MICHU to pick up 2 frags. That could have turned the tide, but as you said, they got so heavily tagged up in that situation that in the end it was a pretty easy cleanup for Dignitas, and a much-needed one as well. And yeah, you can see smokes being wasted early on.
I can only assume that was for the white box in mid, considering Z connector was successfully smoked. Innocent, we're getting naded into oblivion here in the early stages of the second half. Lounge are on the eco, of course, just with the pistols. MICHU with a flash. All the CTs are spread out now. Dan, sometimes you like the CTs to kind of commit to one fight in this kind of situation, but they're going to get picked off one by one with the remaining 2 players left on the A site. Could potentially position themselves, try and take these players by surprise once they exit the bomb explosion, try and pick up some guns for the next round.
This was actually fairly well coordinated from Dignitas this round as an anti-force buy / anti-eco, because they kind of stuck together. They took over mid, then they went they regrouped all together into the B site. Pretty coordinated, and I would expect for there to be maybe some extra edges, having the 2 stand-ins on Dignitas for Lounge when Lounge are playing with the pistols, because it's going to be hard. Should in theory be harder for the stand-ins to coordinate with the otherwise drilled members of Dignitas.
Yeah, but it seems like Dignitas are actually running the same strats that they have been doing previously, because that was the same anti-eco they pulled out versus G2. This time they had a couple of more nades, even though one of the smokes were left in T-spawn, but you could tell that they want to do the same, and it seems like both Cajun and Sandin are able to keep track of what they're supposed to do in those rounds. So it's a good sign for Dignitas going further.
MSL's going for the cold zero style execute into A. Bouncing that flash into position to block him from the white box, and the 2 pop flashes into the smoke to make his way. Solo push into mid, but he needs to identify the other players. So far so good, that's 2 down. There's 2 more to find, however. Got to get traded eventually. Meanwhile, the bomb site's been taken by Dignitas. Bomb planted for Checkers as well, so they'll be watching the vents. 2 Lounge players left. Can they save this AK? Mouz indeed will go down, leaving SZPERO alone with a P250. That AK will presumably be protected by Dignitas, who will continue it as bait to take down the last player. There goes SZPERO.
So 2 solid anti-ecos coming in from Dignitas. They're going to have some money stacked up now. That's good. So even if they lose this upcoming rifle round, they're going to be able to buy up again and potentially break Lounge's economy. And I think if they manage to do so, then they're in a prime position to actually take map 1, which is Lounge's map pick, and that's absolutely massive.
Well, it's going to be a situation where Lounge are starting to feel a little bit afraid potentially.
Ooh. On the B bomb side, we're seeing a boost here. They wanted to spot. They actually managed to get a headshot onto Cajun before he moved away.
Nice approach here through onto middle from Dignitas as well. While just really taking liberties on these peaks, not having any fear or any doubts in their own ability. And that's the 4 versus 4 now. They've evened things up, and Lounge are moving quite a lot at the moment with their positioning on the CT side. So Dignitas could really capitalize here. Lounge seem a little bit without any information.
It almost seemed like Dignitas had a read on a potential rotation away from the B bomb site, and the bomb was almost headed there, but it seems they are indeed going towards A. So we might see a fast rotation if MICHU gets some information here. Information he will get. Unfortunately, he will die with said information. Rotation coming in now from the last 2 players. The B player, SZPERO, getting a little bit antsy, and with these nades coming into A, he might indeed vacate the premises. But what can the CTs do about it? It's counter flash coming in. There's a bit of opportunity there. And indeed, RUBINO gets taken down with no trade.
Yeah, it's not looking good here for Lounge, but it is going to be oskarish and SZPERO to the rescue. Config, though, ever the villain, taking down oskarish. Trying to go for the fake plant to bait out SZPERO. But now he's just going to go for it with not much time left. Finds the headshot. Over by the barrels, and that's going to be that. Dignitas picking up that round. And now Lounge again in a poor economic state. Dignitas with a very strong opportunity to get to 13. Close to closing this first map out with the stand-ins.
Doing a very good job, but there we actually saw the quirks of having stand-ins on your side when you're trying to do something like an A execute. You could see that RUBINO was running out way too soon compared to the guys in A main, and even the backstab rotation coming in from mid was also pretty late. So it's more down to individual skill, the fact that they actually get trade frags, because it's not due to them going out as a unit and actually making the life of Lounge Gaming really hard. It's just individual skill saving them.
So you can see Lounge Gaming went for a 4-man stack towards the B bomb site, but with no aggression whatsoever early on from Dignitas. They have abandoned it, and they have a pilgrimage over towards A. They're soon to make it to the destination. And only now, with minutes on the clock, are Dignitas starting to emerge. Just 1 man going for a cursory peek towards B, and the rotation continues from Lounge, with 1 man pushing Squeaky, who may meet the bomb.
I think he spotted out the bomb as well, but Dignitas just doing the same thing they've been doing all game really on their anti-ecos, taking control over middle, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw them moving towards B eventually, but with that pick that might actually change their plans.
A bit of a smoke there in middle to obscure any information plays into mid from Lounge, as they are going for that play in towards B. Dignitas taking over the checkers area. SZPERO is lurking up top, but he is going to be eliminated. And this should be an easy finish onto the bomb site for Dignitas to claim their 13th round. So again, we see a very, I wouldn't say a very coordinated round, but a coordination from Dignitas with the same strategy in mind for all players. And that's just good to see. They've executed this well. Just 1 man down so far. Mouse just trying to save the AK and the Molotov that he picked up.
But the Dignitas definitely seems safer when they're pulling off their anti-eco strat like they did right now than what they did during their A take. And probably not that weird, because it's a lot less technical to actually execute. It's a lot more running as a group, and they're able to do so. But it's given them rounds, so they should be really happy about the situation right now. But Sandin is going to go down to Mouse, so that's 1 more kill in the bag for Mouse, and he's going to be able to hold on to that AK, and so that's going to make his buy a little bit cheaper, and that could actually come in really handy in an upcoming round, because obviously Lounger's scraping the bottom of the barrel every time they buy up this time, but they could potentially get an op on SZPERO while the rest of the guys force buy in an upcoming round, which could prove to be very effective.
Well, we have the AWP now, and we'll see if they'll play a solo B. For the moment, it's going to be 2 guys in the B bomb site. SZPERO saw the nade, maybe expecting a flashbang. Moved away. There's the flash, but not going to get him. Connor's going to go down. Will he take a pot shot through the smoke? No, just going to reposition to a more passive area where he can go for the re-peeks again. KJB is entertaining him now, although there's no frag yet through the smoke.
Innocent doesn't see the boost stuff coming, and that's something that should have been communicated between the SZPERO, or the 2 guys on the B bomb side, and Innocent.
Yeah, that's a rough way to go, to be honest, and it's going to put a lot of pressure onto the defense now. oskarish needs to get his scream on, get the taps going onto these players. Multiple oncoming assailants in the form of Dignitas. Danes trying to storm the B bomb site, but they are being quelled at this point in time, as it's just 2 players left now for the Danish side. They do eventually get onto the bomb site, but Lounge have a decent chance to retake this one if they're able to remove Sandin from the checkers and B storage area. They have a very solid shot at just bum rushing the remaining player on the site. They're actually going to force him out with an nade, and now Sandin is the only one left. 1 versus 2. He's going to get smoked off. He should have to push through the smoke now as the defuse is going to come in. We've got a covering player. Sandin is going to go for the peak and be promptly eliminated by SZPERO's AWP. Lounge picking up a round, and it's in a timely fashion as well. But for how long can they keep themselves in their head above water?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the big question. If Dignitas were to actually break the economy of Lounge, I think that's just game. At that point, Dignitas should run away with the victory on Lounge's map pick. That 2v3 situation, obviously difficult for Dignitas to play out and actually come out ahead, but I think they could have used Cajun better in that situation, having him just play for more time, because Sandin is still in a really, really good situation to deal with people running onto the site.
So slowly does it for Dignitas. Looking for an overextension from Lounge, perhaps. Passive angles being held by the T side, who currently have a 5-round lead and lots of Molotovs in the bag. You can see the nade situation is somewhat strained for Lounge Gaming, which perhaps Dignitas have a read on. Perhaps that's why they're holding passively. But the pick will finally come in from mouz, who's stolen an AK in the previous round. Take that MSL. Flashbang coming in now, and Lounge put themselves in the strong advantage. RUBINO can't trade either. 3 versus 2. 5 versus 2, excuse me.
And Lounge in a great spot. The Cajun be looking for a nice kill, and he's going to find one in middle. But how much time do they have? 40 seconds on the clock. And MICHU is doing a great job for his team in pushing Squeaky at this time. He's going to gain a lot of information and likely have a bit of an off angle should Dignitas go towards A. But Lounge are likely expecting a B play now, but they're not taking anything for granted. It's good that they're holding their positions and not gambling too heavily. Now here it is. Very important shot for Cajun to try to hit. And he will hit it. SZPERO's going to go down. And there might be a chance now for Dignitas. But the flash, the counter grenades are pretty spot on there from Oskarish. And he will get the spray on the second player to finish off the remainder of Dignitas.
Very well done. A perfect flash to make it easy for himself. And this is just like textbook stuff. Pop flash into A main. And get the easy kill on MSL right there. It's I think RUBINO in that situation should be able to actually pick up a frag onto MICHU, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles this time around. And the 9 rounds for Lounge Gaming on the board, and they actually managed to survive with enough people that they're actually going to be building somewhat of a bank.
Well, Dignitas will be looking to pressure it, buying up once again. Quite a reasonable amount of nades on the T side as well, who have MSL poking and prodding in the mid area. Down goes Innocent. Can he take down MICHU as well? Indeed he can. So it's Dignitas' turn to get a strong advantage. And you can see SZPERO with $300 odd in the bank there. So yeah, Lounge literally cannot afford to lose this.
I think in a situation like that, all Cajun has to do is really just stay alive, not really put any pressure, because that allows for Dignitas to push towards A and create rotations. Even though they don't commit towards the A-bomb side, they can create rotations, which makes for easy pickups for Cajun. But he goes down, so that advantage is lost. But they still are 1 man up.
Oskarish, does he engage the first player who pushes through the checkers here?
Well, looks like he's going to get 1 frag. Immediate trade. Not going to go well for Lounge, already down a player. And again, the trade game is not going to happen. Lounge suffering quite significantly now in this situation, looking for mouz to bail them out. mouz to be able to do that, he's going to have to creep through the smoke, and Config is expectant. And his barrel will show before he can have any vision, and Config will find himself a nice headshot to finish off the round. And also perhaps to soon finish off Lounge. They are close now to losing this first map.
It's a really difficult position where that Oskarish was in, because if you engage the first player, almost definitely getting traded by the second.
Yeah.
If you engage the if you wait for the second player, maybe someone comes in from your left and checks the right and takes you down. I don't know if there's a right decision to make there. Yeah.
I think given the situation, the fact that they are a man down, he just has to risk it at that point and let 2 people run past and hope for the best. Something like, I think Snacks in a situation like that would probably wait it out and just let a lot of people pass.
Looking for the 2-man spray down. MICHU will just get the 1, although SZPERO is going to come and take down RUBINO. More trades for days. Kjærbye with the 2-man to even things up. The bomb is on the site, and Kjærbye has just wiped out 60% of Lounge in a fair few seconds.
That second shot.
Dignitas on game point.
That second shot was awesome.
Yeah. That's just, again, a broken play being saved by individual skill in the favor of Dignitas, and there's not much you can do about it from Lounge's end either.
Cajun OP.
Yeah, really. That second shot is crazy.
Look how fast. Just the the double zoom as well, razor sharp, very nice play. Super fast KJB 3-man, which is going to leave Lounge with a Nova, a FAMAS, and 3 pistols.
It's never something you want to hear in the last round of a game. Well, MICHU's already being spotted out as well, so there goes one of the pistols. And the job just got a lot harder for CSGO Lounge. And again, I like this from Dignitas. They're aware of the money situation, so they're taking their time, going back to mid, and I wouldn't be surprised, again, if they end up with that classic B push after taking control over mid.
So, Dignitas on the cusp of victory in this first map as they take over middle and start to create a response here for Lounge. They are going for a risk. Mouz is pushing A main, and can he find somebody? There it is, RUBINO lurking. Oh dear, that's the bomb down. And Dignitas have to adjust to this now. They've got to send players back there, and you can see that also Mouz is going to go back to the A bomb site to help his teammates out, which is actually quite a smart play. He can't really hold the bomb by himself, and now he's created potentially a crossfire towards shorts with the teammates. Now here goes Config, waiting for his teammates to get some pressure in for A main, and he is ready to create the distraction. All the nades coming in now. The double pronged attack from Dignitas. MSL not knowing which way to look. And Innocent, I think Mouz claiming frags, but there you go. We've got frags straight back here for Dignitas.
Config now has got himself an opportunity for a 1 versus 1. Is the bomb going to go down fast enough? Just about 1 second on the clock, and oskarish finds himself in a horrible situation. Config coming in for the high flank, and he will find the sweeping headshot to take it. 16-9, Dignitas will take the first map over CSGO Lounge. So a bit of a surprise. What went wrong there for CSGO Lounge?
Well, it didn't. Well, first off, it didn't seem like Dignitas really had that many issues executing on their T side. They were also able to break the economy of Lounge, which was absolutely massive for them. And then we see once executions go kind of haywire for Dignitas, they still have the individual skill to just bail them out in certain situations. It happened at least twice with both Config and Cajun. So, yeah, and Dignitas not that affected by the looks of it from having 2 stand-ins, and that's a good sign for them.
Yanko, how was that for you?
Kjærbye, a decent standing, it seems. He was top fragging for Dignitas, 24 kills, but I felt what broke this game was the first half, where after Lounge got to initial 5-0 lead on the D side, which is amazing, especially on cash. There were a couple of clutch rounds that Dignitas was able to win, especially the round where Sanden got triple kill. Then there was the round where Config got 1v2 as well, and that allowed them to gain some momentum and string a couple of rounds together. Usually when you see a team have a 5-0 lead on the terrorist side, they will get around maybe even 9 or 10 rounds, because they have the control of the economy at that point, and they can do pretty much whatever they want on their T side. But Dignitas managed to even win the first half in the end, and coming into the second half, they were the ones who had the control of the economy from start to finish. I was thinking maybe they're going to be hindered in those second rounds against pistols and everything now that they have 2 stand-ins, but it was business as usual for them. It seems that MSL is just really good at calling in those situations. You could see that the game was a lot more messy than we would have expected now that they have the 2 stand-ins, but it just came down to the individual skill, to Dignitas players winning all the crucial aim duels, and in the end it was a pretty straightforward game for them, all in all.
So the next map is going to be Train. We will find out what the analysts' thoughts are just after the break. We will see you back here in just a few minutes.